or maybe we should go live in the next 10 seconds. Mm, perfect, sir. Whenever you're ready, you can go live.
All right. Just a minute. I'll start walk you through the APIs. I can present my screen, right?
Yes, yes, you can. So you see the present option at the bottom of the screen. You can do that from there.
Yes. Yes. Okay. All right, sir. This is the Bhashni's API's Gitbook documentation, developer documentation, basically from onboarding to and what models available and how you can use the models and how API calls can be made. Everything. This is the go-to documentation for those people who are looking for it. Okay, so I'll just walk you through the stages which are there here on a high level note. Then you can later on just go through in detail uh, with your own pace. Okay, so basically, whenever any use case you have related to all the speech recognition, yeah, translation, text to speech, uh, which is available by Bhashni, you can just refer this documentation. Once you go to prerequisites and onboarding steps, you have to just go to this link and start creating your register your page. I mean, you will be appearing like this, and you can fill your related respective fields with your all the details, and you can just request for the user ID and the API keys based on the details which you send it to Bhashini team. They will approve it, and then you can start. You can get the API keys, and you can start using it further. All right. So the next stage is the available models for usage. So there are a lot of models which are there. You can just try out whatever suits for you. And there are service ID respective and the language supported. Service ID is nothing but the model you can understand, model name or something like that. So and the language supported by that particular model is presented here. So there are all the services and respective service IDs and respective language supported are present here. And once you go through this part, I mean, once you registered and get the approved and get the credentials part, you can directly jump into download Postman collection. So before that, you should be having an just to try out the all the APIs within Bashni, whatever is there. You should be having, and just to give a try, Postman application. You have to install it if it's not there. Or else you can have set up your web Postman also. That is also fine. So you just have to create your workspace. Any name you can give. Let's say you can give as a Bashni, and once the web workspace has been created, you can just go to this link. Basically this links, just a second, I'll open for you. All right, so all this is the JSON collection, APIs collection, where you have to just uh, click, I mean, control A, control C, copy, and just open your in your local machine, open any notepad or something like that, paste it there, and just save it within a extension of .json, like let's say collection.json. Then once you save that all the collection.json, the in created workspace, once you entered into that, you are having an option of import button here. You just have to click there and drop that offline file which you had created, collection.json. Once you drop here, I mean, you'll be getting all this uh, APIs which are there. So once you receive this, I mean, you have successfully imported all the Bhashni supported APIs here. And once that is done, you just have to click on the prod documentation and you can go to variables. The user ID and the API key details which you received, you just have to place it here on the variable section. Once you place it, just save it, and then you start with the sending pipeline configuration call. Pipeline configuration call basically, I'll just request payload. I just go to this. So pipeline configuration call are like, let's say you need ASR, translation, TTS. There is a pipeline ID also. You just have to place the pipeline ID here, and the ASR all will be there, and you just have to send the request. You'll be getting the supported models within all these task types. And once that is being generated, then the automatically other variables within prod documentation will be generated and get it auto save. And once that is done, you just have to go to if I show you the picture. uh, yeah, I mean, you just have to go to direct compute request ASR. Then you can just try out using all the APIs in similar fashion. I'll just walk you through the example collection which I have in my machine. That would be help you understand it. Just a second, I'll be sharing that with you. All right. So this is the Postman application. Once you imported this one of the collection, I mean API collection, you'll be seeing this compute request ASR and MTTTS and other updated services also. There is an request ASR, right? So you'll be having all the payload represented here, and the audio input. Like, let's say you have an audio link which is publicly downloadable, which is not private, then you can just click on send button and you'll be getting the response in this way, right? So you'll be getting the transcription of the given audio file. Or else you're having an audio content, which means the base 64. You just have to remove this out and just in double quotes type the key as audio content, and with respect to that, the audio base 64 can be placed there, and you can just send the request, and therefore you'll be getting the response of it. So basically, if I talk about the request payload, how the structure is, this is the task type which is mentioned as mentioning the system to do ASR, and within it there is the configuration. You have the specifying the language which you want to do, service ID which I mentioned in the documentation, right? So you can choose any service ID based on the language, and the audio format supported is also mentioned there. You can just go through the uh, key parameters which are there. Like, let's say you might having some FLAC or WAV or MP3 or any other WebM or any other currently supported by Bhashni file format. You can just have it, and sampling rate of that particular audio file, you can just place it, or you can just ignore also. That is also completely fine. Once you have, then you can pass the audio content and send the request. Then you'll be getting the response of it. This is coming to ASL. And NMT also, neural machine translation, is also the same. You just have to have the source language and the target language here, which you want to translate, and you just send the input, input text data, which you want to translate, and this is the model service ID. You can mention either, if you not even mention, by default the system will get it, and you'll get the output. So in this way you will be receiving the source input and the target output you'll be getting. So in similar fashion, the TTS is also there, text to speech, which has language you should be specifying, on which language you should be getting the language of this uh, input text, and the gender is also there. You can select either female or male, and the sampling rate which you want to generate the audio, on which sampling rate, either 8,000, 16,000, any other sampling rate hertz you can mention. And once you hit on send button, you'll be getting the audio content of base 64, and you can just decode it, and you'll be generating an audio file for it. And that's simple, you can just use it. So in similar way, let's say if I go to transliteration, uh, basically transliteration does the transliteration of one language to another language. Here we are doing for English to Hindi. This is the service ID, and each sentence is true. When you send the input request text with the sentence, not as in a word, like this is the whole sentence, right? So it's not in single word. So when you send as a sentence, you should be mentioning as a true, a number of suggestions as a one, and you'll be getting the output. Let's say if you want to do word level transliteration, you can simply have switched off or disable this as a false, and max number of suggestions for word level would be 7. So you can get the output till 7 suggestions, or 7 top 7 outputs for the given input text. So on a high level, this is how it works. You guys can just uh, I mean check the documentation in detail, and get it uploaded and give a try on it. And it's not necessary to try on this also. Once you import it, you'll be having an code option. You can just switch your code. Let's say if you want to run it on Python requisition, you just can copy this code and paste it. You can run it in any IDE you want. So it's not necessary to use on the post. All right. Is there any doubts till now? If so, please let me know.
So I think we could conclude with this training session and this session from you as well. Haridhar sir, thank you so much for conducting this informative session on Bhashni's API. Um, we will be taking concluding state here, and thank you so much for everyone viewing this as well. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.